wanted to see if Israel searched her name recently, and I happened to find out.
I've followed the story so much so far. You'd see in the history of this woman is that she just moved to this area, her and her partner. And the odd thing is that if they moved to that area, they probably got in touch with a lot of outreach centers, maybe a warming shelter, or some other like food banks or something to get on their feet or get stable in a new area. And what a lot of people don't realize is that for some reason, those outreach shelters and everything have to report to the police, and those police have to report to the FBI, and the FBI has to report to the Mossad agents, and the Mossad agents have to report to It's Not Real, and It's Not Real has to report to Pegasus Software, and then they have to report to the Intel working at the social media app in Culver City, California, and in Bend, Oregon, where Facebook headquarters is located at, and run a diagnostic on the person, look at their personal profile and history, and find out if they're vulnerable, if they're a person of interest, if they're targetable, if they could be manipulated, if they could be usable, if they might have any valuable information or contacts that could lead them to possible finding what they call defectors or international terrorists. Now, the funny thing is a year before this last assassination, I guess you could call it, or execution of this woman, I actually got caught in a snowstorm on January 2nd, 2025. And when I did so, I had to look for an outreach shelter or someplace where I could stay so I didn't freeze to death. While I waited for a bus for the next day, and when I went there, I gave a contact reference number of my neighbor to let them know, I need to get a hold of this person so that they could watch my house or check on my house while I'm gone, make sure nothing happens. But what I didn't know is my neighbor had family who worked for the sheriff's department. And then, so when I gave that information, it was like the streams getting crossed in Ghostbusters or the cross wires or something. Suddenly, the Mossad agents got contact info that was related to sheriff's department or police station, right? And so they're like, this person can't be a targeted individual. They can't be a person of interest because it's compromising to our own people. And then as I left the next day to get on my bus, I fell asleep. And while I was asleep on the bus, someone stole my backpack. And the funny thing is, I was on security camera the whole time. There's security camera on the bus. There are security guards on the bus, secret shopper or whatever, hidden TWA people or whatever, like airline security, but on buses. And there's security cameras at every stop, and there were security cameras at the next stop after, which is in Boise, Idaho. So my backpack was never out of sight and never off camera. Like, it was on camera the whole time. And when I contacted the police to let them know my backpack had been stolen, they had 3 hours before the backpack arrived in the bus at the next stop. And they could have called ahead. They could have called the bus company. They could have called the bus driver. They could have called the Boise Town Center Mall where the bus stop was. Had all a bunch of security cameras. It had security guards working there and told them that there was a stolen backpack on board that bus. But for some reason, in those 3 hours after I reported it, they did nothing. None of the security people, the police, the sheriffs, nobody were able to get my backpack. Now, the funny thing is, inside my backpack was a lot of my research having to do with genetics, haplogroups, eugenics, nuclear power fusion, immunology, just some really interesting intel stuff, some Wiccan and pagan Druidism and other fun, little things, little knickknacks. I'm a researcher, scholar, academia. So I like to study those sorts of things. Now, why would they not be able to return my backpack? It was on camera the whole time, and they had 3 hours. Why couldn't they do that? Now, recently, after this woman got executed, a local woman who was a quote-unquote photographer, who's also friends with the police, seemed to have just left her purse in a grocery cart. And then the police made a big post online about, oh, we found the woman's purse and we returned it to her. Somebody who was honest just turned it back into us magically, even though the purse wasn't on camera at all. Nobody was watching it. There was no security around whatsoever. But she magically got her purse back, and the police virtue signaled about how great they were and how they'd done such a great job. And the woman said, oh, thanks to the local police. You did so much to help get me my purse back. But for some reason, they couldn't get my backpack back, even though it was on camera the whole time. And it's almost like an intelligence agency like Mossad or the FBI or the CIA or somebody stepped in, stole my backpack, and then tried to just pass it off like, oh, just a common robbery. Yeah, just a common theft. We'll just kind of brush it under the rug. Now, the funny thing is, when I went back and checked to see if the police station had found my bag, they wrote the wrong name down on the police report. They wrote Tyler down, and my name isn't Tyler. So even if they'd found my bag and said we found his bag, did anybody report a stolen bag? My name wouldn't match the name that was on the police report, so it had never been returned to me. Which is just, gosh, I mean, there's so many robberies that night. How can you keep them all straight? Like, could it be a conspiracy to just be like, oh, it was a paperwork error, and maybe we just didn't have the right name on it, and if we had known, we would have got it back to you, or did the FBI steal my research? Did you? Did you? Did you steal it? Did you like it? Do you like it? Do you like that the world's on fire and the country's like coming to a civil war and people are just lying dead in the streets and you're about to lose your ass to China and Russia and South America and the whole rest of the world? Do you like that? Do you like that, America? Do you like that? Now, if I were you at this point, I would pray to God you find my research, and I would do everything in your power to bring it back to me, give it to me. Because you know what? That might be your only saving grace at this point. The only way you can save the lives of your officers, your military men, your ICE agents, your three-letter agency people, all the rest of these folks. It might be the only way that there would be less bloodshed is if you do the right thing and return my research to me. It would be a good omen, a measure of good faith, if you will. Maybe water under the bridge and kind of ease the burden. Just doing the right thing at the right time for the right people rather than just going out and doing things for your own greedy desires. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm paranoid delusional, but the facts are the facts, right? And I mean, this guy in this other video got it in black and white. So, did you look up my name when I stayed at the shelter that night too there, Israel? Did you? Did you? It's almost like I'm coming for you, isn't it? All the way on the other side of the world and got you shaking in your boots, don't I? Well, welcome to the Church of Set, where we make hell on earth for people like you. That's Abu Mawahu Kalunas.